Hi there, Andrimner of Sweden here. I am going to cook some Smashburgers today. And if you come and take a look here, Smashburgers is really easy to prep. It's really about the quality of the mince you get. Now on this one I'm using 50% ribeye, like a really marbled and fatty ribeye, and 50% brisket, and medium coarse grind I'm using here. Completely no seasoning, no nothing when you make the balls, like this for the patties. The other prep I've done is about 50 minutes ago. I lit the barbecue, and the hotter you can get it, the better. I've also bought a thing called the Gourmetstål. It's a gourmet steel from up from the way north of Sweden, and it's a thick, solid piece of steel to smash the burgers on. It's also really good because I flip it over on the other side and use it for pizzas, but we'll get to that one later. Also, you don't need to have this, you can do it with a normal spatula, but a smasher is... oh sorry, now my wife hears this. You absolutely need to get a smasher too. Without smasher, there's no smashing of the burgers, basically. So, the theory of the Smashburger is that this is how it works. There's something called the Maillard process, which is when you brown the meat, and a lot of the really good flavor of the meat comes from that browning of the burger, of the meat. So this you're actually going for a crispy surface. If you make a puck and put it on the hot griddle where you're cooking it, not all of it gets in contact with the steel. So by making a round ball like this and then smashing it into the steel so it flattens out, the whole piece of meat gets in contact with the hot surface and it crisps. In fact, you need a spatula to scrape it off the hot surface, because it will get stuck, and that's good. That stuck stuff, that's where the magic is. So you take the ball, you stick it on there, you push it down, you hold for about 10 seconds with this thing, and you take a spatula, a scraper, and you're prepared to, in case it gets stuck to this more than to the surface you're cooking on, you loosen it a bit with the spatula, and I'll show you that when I do it later. And that's really it. Then you cook it until it kind of bubbles up through the meat, and I'll show you that as well. Use salt and black pepper a little bit, like a bit of seasoning, and then you flip it over, and you put a salt and black pepper on the overside as well, and you let it cook until you get the crisp on both sides. And again, it should be stuck to the cooking surface when you're done. So that's it. Let's get cooking. Okay, time to cook. But first I would like to say a couple of words about my favorite charity, and that is the Chubby Unicorns. You really need to do whatever you can to save the Chubby Unicorns. So go get a t-shirt, post something online so everyone knows that you care about the environment, and particularly the Chubby Unicorns. It's good for the world. I think Bono will love you for it. Right, let's get cooking. So we'll start with the bigger burgers that will take a little bit longer to cook. And we start with the first one. That's the sound you want. You want it to really make a noise. And then push it down. And you count to 10. Something like that. That'll be good. Okay, what I do is I normally let it just to get into some kind of habit, so you can make a lot of these if you have people over and stuff. I don't think it actually matters, but I don't season until just before I'm about to turn them. It's just to do it one way or another and to keep track of whether or not you have seasoned. I don't know if it actually matters to the result when you do the seasoning. push that one a little bit too much. That's okay. There we go. All right, check it out. Now the surface that gets in contact with the meat surface, you're maximizing how much of the meat gets in contact with the really hot steel. That's the magic. That one turned out better. I probably pushed these ones a little bit too much actually. But you see they're completely stuck. They will taste fantastic. Good. So you watch it for the, they cook from under and up. And by doing it that, you don't lose a lot of juices. They get really, like the moisture and all the nice juices and fantastic stuff stays in the burger. That's why a smash burger is, well, it's the best way to have a burger, really. Also, another thing that happens is when you get a proper brown surface on the now it's time to season it a bit. This one. When you get a proper crusty surface on the burger, it also doesn't leak into the bread and turn into a pink doughy ball. It smells fantastic. It really does. Look at that. Salt it a bit. I get into the habit of doing it this way, but just before I flip them, I season them. And then as soon as I have flipped them, I season the other side as well. Then I know that when they come off the barbecue, they're done. Yeah, that's good. So we salt these two as well. They're going to get turned over. Salt them a bit. It smells fantastic with a bit of the black pepper as well. Getting hungry. Now, what you really want to do is you want to play around a little bit, depending on what kind of meat you can get hold of. But really, the fattier the better. Press this down a little bit as well. That's the benefit of having one of these burger presses, is that you can actually, you have to stand and hold it, you can actually move it around a bit. But it's not always necessary. And you really can't have the barbecue too hot. And these are basically done now. Here's another one. Place it on the steel. Push it down. You can leave it like that for 10 seconds. It rises a little bit, so I like to put a little bit of pressure on. If I see that the burger is starting to rise a bit, I put a bit of pressure on as well, so it doesn't get a chance to turn into a meatball instead. Okay. I wonder if, and it could be, this mince has been frozen. I cooked with the same mince a couple of weeks ago, and I did not have the problem of it sticking to the... I wonder if something happens to it when it's... because it's been frozen. I don't know. It can help to twist a little bit before you lift as well. Okay. They're done. Now come look at here. If you see on the top of the griddle, this gets stuck. That's why you need to use this sharp. I was not so careful here. This is where a lot of the flavor is. You really want to try to get that with the burger. Nothing left on the... There we go. And we should turn this one too. And when you get into, I can't do two things at once. So now that I'm talking, I can't do as many burgers as I can if I'm just being left alone to focus. That's good color on that one. And you don't need there to be, you don't put any extra fat or anything on top of this, because if it gets too much fat, you boil your burger in fat rather than frying it. You want to let the fats come out of the burger. Use a fatty mince, and you can use short rib mince, or you can use brisket or ribeye, chuck roll if it's a good one. I find that chuck roll gets a little bit less tender to chew, but it's also a good piece of meat to use for this. Brisket. This is brisket ribeye 50-50, like I said, but you can also toy around with the I forgot to salt this one, pepper it. You can also toy around with the proportions, like how much. And of course, if you have a dialogue with the place where you buy your meat, you can talk to them that I want a really fatty part of the short rib or a fatty part of the brisket. And if it comes from a good animal with loads of marbling, no dairy crossbreed or crap like that, then you'll get marbling and stuff wherever you go on any of these pieces. It depends on what you can get hold of. But you can go 80-20, 50-50. Yeah, that's basically it. So I think that's it for now. I'll show you the finished burger later.